Hello guys, welcome to my channel and thanks for watching this video. Any likes or comments or subscribe from your side will be truly appreciated. Thanks a lot. This is the 5th video of the CSS Simply from A to Z tutorial. In the last video, we have learned how we can create ordered and unordered list in our page and how we can design it. And after that, we have learned how we can create table and how we can design our table also. And it was the result of the last video as you see here. In this video, we want to talk about the design of a text. For example, if we have a text in our web page, how we can design it, how we can set nice and beautiful CSS effects for our text in the page. So let's go. First, I will delete everything here. And here also it was the CSS file, and here is the HTML file, and we start with the new topic. Okay, first, suppose that I save it before we go further, and I go to the browser, I refresh, you see that we don't have anything more. Okay, suppose that we want to set a title for our web page. In this case, I want to use h tag, this time for example h3, and here we type for example, here is my personal blog or page, web page, for example. It will be the title of our web page. I save it, go to the browser and refresh, and we have it here. The first one that the first thing that we want to change is we want to have our title in the middle of the in the middle of our web page and not on the left side. For that, so I set an ID for our tag, and this ID will be title, for example, and I go to the CSS file and I call the tag, and I type text align center. I save it, I save both of the files, and we go to the browser, we refresh, and you see that the title is in the middle of the web page. So if you want to set any tag in the middle of the page, you have to use this property, text align, and after that center. Of course, you can here type right or left also, and it will be then the title will be on the left side or on the right side, but we want to set it in the center of the web page, and we set center for this property. The next one is that we want to design the title of our page. Okay, we go back, but before going further, I think it is a little bit small. We change it to h1, the bold tag, so that it will be a little bit bigger. Okay, now it is better. Okay, the design of the title. We go back to the CSS file and we start to design the title. Suppose that we want to use some shadow for our title. For setting a shadow, we have a property. This property is tex-shadow. I click it. After tex-shadow, we have to give some numbers, some colors, and things like that. I will tell you one by one. The first one, we set a number. We say, for example, 5 pixel. This 5 pixel means that the shadow of this tag goes 5 pixel to the right side. And after that, I set one more time 5 pixels, for example. It is up to you, whatever you want. And the second number means that the shadow of the title comes 5 pixels to the downside. And after that, we set a color for the shadow. In this case, I select red. So we save everything. We go back and we check what is happened. You see that our text, our title now has a shadow. As you see, the shadow is 5 pixels to the right side, and it is the first one. It is the first pixel that we have set here, and the shadow is 5 pixels to the down. As I said, the second one, and the color of the shadow is red, and you see that the color is red here. For example, if you want that the shadow comes to the left side or goes to the upside, in this case you can use minus sizes. For example, -5 and -5 again. And if I save it, we go back to the browser. You see that this time the shadow is to the left side and to upward it is. And if we say, for example, we don't want, I just change both of them to positive to plus, and it will be so again downward. So in this case, for example, we say that we don't want that the shadow goes to the right side. We just want that the shadow comes down. You have to set the first one as 0. And if I save it, I go back, refresh the page, you see that the shadow is only to the downside and not to the right side. And if we here, this 5, if we change it a little bit more, the shadow comes down. And I will show you something here. 20 pixel. You can also have 2 shadows for a box, for a text. For example, you say that we want to set the next shadow. In this case, we say again, we don't want the shadow goes to the right side, but this time we want that the shadow comes to the upper side, to the upside. It must be minus, and we say blue, for example, this time. So you can set 2 times the shadow property for a text. This is the first one, and this is the second one. And if I save it, we go back to the browser, and we see what will be happens. You see that now we have 2 shadows. One is blue to the upside, and the other one is red to the downside. Sorry. For the shadow, you can sorry. For the shadow, you can also set another property, and this property is blur radius. Blur radius, you can add another number. For example, we say 5 pixel, not 50 pixel, and for the second one also 5 pixel. What this blur radius is, we see it right now in the browser. If I refresh, you see that the shadow is now blur. So you can, like this, blur the shadow of your text. Okay, now for example, as you see, every letter here is in lowercase. Everything is here small. And suppose that we want to have everything here in the uppercase. For that, we have also another property, and this property is text transform. Text transform, and you see that we have these options here. First of all, we select uppercase, and we check what happens, and we change the value of that again. Uppercase, everything will be big. You see that the upper alphabet, everything is big right now. Okay, and here we can select another value for this property, and this one is capitalize. For example, I delete it and I here say capitalize. Capitalize means that the first letter of any word will be big and the rest of that will be klein. You see only the first letter is big in each word and the rest of that is is klein. The other thing that we can do for our title is that, for example, if you want to set a underline for the title, for that we have another property. This property is text decoration. Text decoration, and after that we say underline. I save everything, we go back to the browser, and this time our title has a text decoration. Even the shadows also have a have an underline text decoration, and in this case underline. So like this you can also change the design the title of your page. Okay, right now suppose that we want to add some text here to our web page, and how it will be. I go back to the HTML, and it was our title, and here I add another tag. This tag is P. Tag P is for paragraph. If you want to create a paragraph, if you want to have some text, you can use this tag. Of course, there are other tags for setting text in your web page, but in this video we talk about P. And I have already made some text here ready. I just make a copy of that and I paste it here between the tag. Okay, so some enter here so that we can see everything, and here also, here, and the rest one more time so that we can control the tag and do everything easier. Okay, now it is done. So we can see our tags again here. Sorry. Okay, and it is our P tag, and between our tag we have this text. I save it, I go back to the browser, make a refresh, and you see that we have the text here. So if you want to create a little bit distance between your title and the text, it is also possible, and we can use it with the use of, there is a tag, this tag is BR. With the use of BR, and there's a break, you can set distances between your title and the text. You see that the text comes down. It breaks here and make 2-3 lines for us. 2 times. I think 1 time is okay. We go back and yeah, it's okay. Good. Now we have a text here. We have the text also here, and we want to design the text. This text also. The first thing may be, suppose that we want to have a little bit space here between the first line, between the first word and the body. That is a property, and this property in CSS is, first I will set an ID here again. ID para, for example, state for paragraph. And I go back, I call it para. The name of these IDs are up to you. You can set whatever you want. Okay, yeah, the first thing is that we want to have a little bit space here between the first word and the body. And it in CSS, it will be called indentation. And the property for that is text minus indent. And after that, you have just to set a size, any pixel that you want. I say 50 pixel, for example. 50 pixel. And save all. Refresh. You see that the first word is now 50 pixel. There is a distance here as much as 50 pixel between the first word and the body. And the second one that we want to use for our text is maybe also we have to this text transform for our paragraph also. I make a copy of that. It will be better, I think. As I said, it is design. It is up to you, and I don't want to design anything here, and we just want to try one to left. Now the first word of the first letter of any word is big. Suppose that we want to divide this paragraph to 2 or 3 parts. How we can do it? We go back to the CSS file, and for this case we have property. This property is called column. Column. After that we say count. Column count is the number of the columns that we want to set for our text. I will set 3. And I save everything here. We go back, and you see that the text is now in 3 columns. Suppose that we want to have also three lines here between each and every column. We go back to the CSS file, and there is another property. And this property is called column rule. Column and rule. I use the short form for column rule, and the short form means that you can set all of the values in one line. For column rule, we say, for example, 4 pixel, and it must be double. Double, we have learned it about double and the style of the borders in the video about borders. And the color must be red, for example. I save everything here. I go back, refresh. You see that now we have 2 lines between the paragraph, the columns here also. The other thing that we want to use for the text is maybe to have a little bit more space between each word. We go back to the CSS file, and there is another property. This property is word spacing. We type word and spacing, and after that we set a pixel for that. We say, for example, 8 pixel. I don't want to design, we just want to learn, and we check how it will be. Now you see that the distance between the words is 8 pixel, a little bit more. You can also change the distance between the letters of any word. It is also interesting. For example, it will be letter spacing. And letter spacing, we say 3 pixel, for example. I save everything here, go back, and you see that there is now 3 pixel distance between the letters of each and every word. The other thing that we want maybe have for the text is, for example, we want to have a shadow like this for the text also, how it will be. You can use this text shadow, but text shadow will be for each and every word here, like this here. But this time we want to set one shadow for all of the text. So there is another property. This property is box shadow. Box shadow. So for text shadow, you use text shadow for each and every word, but for box shadow, for a box. So for box shadow, we say, for example, I don't want the shadow to be to the right side, 0 pixel, and to the downside, maybe, for example, 8 pixel, and blur radius will be 3 pixel, for example. Box shadow, for the box shadow, you can have another value, and this value is a spread, and we say 10 pixel for a spread. And after that, we set a color for the shadow, and the color will be maybe, for example, light green or light green. Yeah, we don't want to design right now. We just want to learn how it will be. Light green, for example. And if I save everything here, we go back, and you see that our text has a shadow also, but this time the text, all of the text has one shadow, and the words does not have any shadow. Like, then this is the difference between the box shadow and the text shadow. Text shadow is text shadow is for words, and box shadow is for the tag. And like this, you can design your text also. Okay, guys, it is in this video about text design, and text box shadow and text shadow, and I hope that you like it. We go back to the CSS file one more time. Text align, you can set the alignment of the text. The text will be left, right, or center. Text shadow, you can see with the use of text shadow, you can set shadow for the words. The first one, the shadow goes to the right side. The second one, the shadow goes to the downside. And in this case, we have a blur radius and the color of the shadow. You can use without blur radius, or without the direction to the downside or to the right side also. And for that, you have to set only 0. For the text transform, we can change the text. The text can be uppercase or lowercase or capitalized, and text decoration can be underline, line throw, or overline also. And text indent, set the distance between the first word and the body. And text transform, column count was for these columns for the text, and word spacing for setting space between the words, letter spacing for setting space between the letters, and box shadow for setting a shadow box for the tag. Okay guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. In the next video, we try to learn one more things about CSS, or maybe we create a small project. Thanks.